they have a monopoly, and other people were complaining because they were not able to get business because
So United Healthcare had a monopoly, obviously they did, and so they were bankrupting everybody else around them. That's what the socialists do. That's what the hospitals have done too. So when you hear the Bernie Sanders or the AOCs want to tell you what's needed, like socialized medicine, no, you're in it. The only part that isn't socialized is that there's still the private health care. Like United Healthcare is private healthcare insurance, okay? But they're deliberately doing what they're doing because it's tied to Agenda 2030. It's all documented. It is. All of this has been designed for a while, as I said. So the hospitals, it's just like with United Healthcare, bankrupting everybody else. So because they have a monopoly, that's what the hospitals have done. So taking everybody into a one-payer system isn't going to help staffing. So please, you socialists out there, as a nurse, please stop trying to help us, okay? Because you don't know what you're talking about. Because all the hospitals are under a monopoly now. That's why they've spent the past 10 years merging. It never should have been allowed. Because the moment they had their monopoly, most especially since COVID, they don't care if you have enough staff. They don't care if it's safe. They don't care about anything. They're just rolling in the dough, sort of like the execs at United Healthcare. That's what happens with the monopoly system. So when those socialists, those people that push socialism, say this is how bad the free enterprise system, no, shut up. This isn't the free enterprise system. This is not the free enterprise system. Hasn't been for a while. It's at the least crony capitalism. But the way the hospital systems are all under one monopoly, no, that's not a free enterprise system because everything's a disaster now because they're not being forced to compete with anybody, just like what happened with United Healthcare. And DOJ, I guess, has been investigating United Healthcare because of the cyber attack. So here's another stupid thing about all this socialized healthcare stuff, is that when the hospitals then merge, then it means when one hospital is hit, everybody that's part of that hospital will be hit too. So there's millions and millions of Americans' data that has been breached. And that the woman in this video says that if your data was breached, you would have gotten a letter because there's like 50 class action lawsuits against United Healthcare. So everybody, you've seen how these cyber attacks, that was designed too. How convenient. Because if it was a truly free enterprise system, and it used to be the old way when our healthcare system operated ethically and we had staff and it was decent and I would say even good, you had the hospitals competing with each other. So that meant that when this hospital gets a cyber attack, it's not going to affect this one because they haven't merged all with each other. But when you merge everything under one same charting system known as Epic, then it will take a ton of people's data. And that works for the science because the science and the universities have their genome labs everywhere. So they're more than happy to take your data. All works for them in the end. But it's deliberate. It's deliberate. And you'll see them ramping this up. In fact, I think it was Aetna that came out today, or another major healthcare insurance, and said that they're putting a cap on anesthesiologists. So the insurance company is going to look at what the procedure is and then tell the anesthesiologist, you should only have to have the patient asleep for this long. And if it's past this time, we won't pay for it. So these doctors are saying, what are we going to do? Wake the patient up in the middle of the procedure if it's not done? And say, do you want us to continue or leave you like this? And I mean, so that's stupid to do. You should recognize they're only doing that because they're trying to collapse it. Even the private healthcare insurances, they're on board with that globalist agenda. So they make out, it may seem like, well, why would they sabotage themselves? Well, because it's a kickback, whatever deals they made. But they're doing it on purpose. I work in it. I see how they're sabotaging themselves. Because they want to force it to collapse because it's about what Biden's tagline was, Build Back Better. It collapses, so then they have to come in and build it back, and it won't be better, not for you. but they can build it into the socialized system that will then serve what the Agenda 2030 wants, which is AI governance. So you're going to see this ramp up, because part of the other thing going on is Trump's going to come into office. So they're going to really it'll probably be some crazy stuff going on with what you see these insurance companies or healthcare systems do. Like, these are the same people, though, these unempathetic and just, they're all criminals, these execs. Really, there's so much insider trading going on with them. I mean, they couldn't care about people if they wanted to, most of them. But they're the same people that are bringing AI in, and that's just pissing everybody off. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, we need care back in healthcare, not computer. Look at what the computers have done. It's, stole everybody's data, everything they're doing. It's like, if you could fail at everything, that's what they're doing. But they're deliberately doing it, so it collapses. Again, it goes to Agenda 2030. They're already also setting up to go after Trump, so with the environmental stuff. So there's an organization called Earth Justice. Rapid Response Legal Fund. Earth Justice won 85% of cases we brought against the first Trump administration, and we're ready to do it again. Yep, they're already getting their lawsuits, everything. And this, most especially, what they want to stop him from doing is being able, because you know how he says he wants to dig because we have all this oil. It would make us a rich, independent energy nation. Yeah, which is what we all want. The globalists don't want you to do that. And they make all these excuses, just like they make all these excuses about global warming or climate change. Yes, the climate changes. It's not some disaster that you're going to be facing around the corner, okay? It changes. But I've gone through 3 times in my lifetime that we were going to die in 12 years, and 3 times it's come and gone. So it's a scare tactic. But what they want to stop is Trump from drilling. But not because they care about the land. I mean, they'll say it's because it's protected area, or they'll say it's because of fossil fuels are bad and whatever. But really, they want to protect the area for other reasons. See, I mentioned how the globalists, they worship the creation, and to a sick degree, okay? Because like the Indians, they love the land, like that's part of their culture. So I don't want to, but the globalists, it's just about controlling the earth, okay? But what they really want to protect is that, well, they don't, if there was digs going on, well, then some things might be discovered, because in the past 6-7 years, especially the past 6, there's been human remains popping up in all these protected lands all over the place. Yeah, you can go on Google and just look it up. Most especially in, Wyoming and Utah and South Dakota and, places where you do like fossil hunting. I mean, not just there. Like I had mentioned how Kennedy went with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell like in 1993 to South Dakota or somewhere to do dinosaur fossil hunting. Yeah. It's in lands like that are protected, or people are hiking. So many people have come across human remains, and not from ancient times, like from, a teenager that was kidnapped or a child. And so there's a lot of that going on. So then imagine if Trump gets regulatory lifted so he can dig, and he'll get it lifted. Well, there'd be a lot of things, okay? So they don't want that found, because even though because it's not Earth Justice, but Earth Justice is tied to an organization called the Sierra Club. And they've been around a long time. And they have very strong views on hunting, except they do their own kind of hunting. And that's all I'll say about that. If you know, you know. So that's the reason they want to stop Trump, especially from digging. So it's going to be a crazy roller coaster ride with all the globalists up until January 20th, and then maybe after, but hopefully it'll level out soon, God willing.